What's going on, everybody? Josh McCarty from Bills Chat here with another training camp recap for Thursday, August 1st, practice number 7 for your Buffalo Bills. You know the drill now. Try to give you everything you need to know about what happened in training camp in 5 minutes or less. But I want to spend the majority of today's episode really dissecting the safety position and where the Bills currently stand. We all know the Bills lost Micah Hyde and Jordan Poyer this offseason. Jordan Poyer went on to sign with the Miami Dolphins. Micah Hyde seems like he's kind of in limbo, leaning toward retirement. I guess you can still consider that an option. I think that's more doubtful than anything at this point in time. But we knew going into today that Mike Edwards was week to week with a hamstring injury, and Cole Bishop now, according to Sean McDermott, is week to week with an arm injury. Week to week in Sean McDermott speak could mean anywhere from 1 week to a month. You just never know. So I think we have to move forward with the idea that both Mike Edwards and Cole Bishop are not going to be here for the rest of training camp. They're both going to miss at minimum 1 preseason game, maybe 2. And I think both of their odds, for various reasons, of winning the starting safety job opposite Taylor Rapp take a tremendous hit. And I know folks are going to say, well, wait a minute. Terrell Bernard got hurt in training camp last year, came back, and the week of the game 1, they said Terrell Bernard was a starting middle linebacker. And I understand that comparison, but let's try to understand the differences to those situations. Terrell Bernard, while he didn't play much his rookie year in 2022, he did have a year in the system, a year in the building, a year of coaching up. And the other factor is Tyrell Dodson and AJ Klein were just so horrendous in preseason and training camp. The Bills really had to go to door number 3. So I suppose that leaves the option open if for whatever reason Damar Hamlin just falls flat with this opportunity and doesn't take advantage of it, or starts the preseason and looks unplayable at safety. The Bills are certainly going to have to look for another option. But the Bills this week have brought in multiple options. They brought in former first-round pick of the Houston Texans, Kareem Jackson, who has been a starter for the majority of his career. He's 36 years old. He's been a high-level player. He's a veteran. And then they also brought in Terrell Burgess, who is a 2020 third-round pick of the Los Angeles Rams, much more of a core special teams player in his career. So let's talk about the domino effect of safety. Right now, it seems like that the Bills are going to move forward with Taylor Rapp and Damar Hamlin starting at safety. So until Cole Bishop and Mike Edwards can come back, the Bills also on Thursday moved Cam Lewis back to safety. Cam Lewis is that Swiss Army knife, He can play nickelback. He can play boundary corner. He can obviously play special teams, and he can play safety. It seems like for now, he's going to focus on safety. So we saw Cam Lewis in there with the second team defense. We saw Terrell Burgess in there with the second team defense. And then we saw Kareem Jackson also work his way in there. I think right now there's a domino effect going on. If Cam Lewis is going to move to full-time safety, he is basically going to vacate that role of backup nickelback to Taron Johnson. The domino effect of that is that opens up another job for a Bills cornerback. And I think the guy who directly benefits from that is Jamarcus Ingram. Coming into camp, Jamarcus Ingram was in competition with Kaiir Elam for the third boundary cornerback behind Christian Benford and Rasul Douglas. Well, Kaiir Elam is having a tremendous camp, certainly asserting himself to be that Dane Jackson role. So DeMarcus Ingram has been playing a lot of slot cornerback. He's a player the Bills really like. He can play outside and inside. That certainly helps him make the team. And the Bills have also been sneaking in day 3 draft pick Daquan Hardy spot duty with the first team, spot duty with the second team at slot cornerback. I think Daquan Hardy in year 1 projects much more as a punt returner, emergency defensive player. But I think both of those guys, Ingram and Hardy, are the ones who stand to benefit the most as far as making the 53-man roster from these 2 safety injuries. Right now, I would predict the starting safeties for the Bills opening day against the Cardinals will be Damar Hamlin and Taylor Rapp. I do think if Damar Hamlin can't live up to the job and does give the Bills reason to hesitate, if Mike Edwards can make it back before the opener, I think the Bills would be much more likely to give him the benefit of the doubt without preseason versus throwing a rookie in there in Cole Bishop. So kind of a mess right now. I do think Cam Lewis is also live for this role. He's been in the system for a while. The Bills really, really trust him. But the Bills are insulated here, and there's one thing we should know about Sean McDermott. He knows how to develop defensive backs. I think the Bills will probably be fine, less than ideal. But right now, a little bit of adversity here with the Bills not even in their first preseason game week of the preseason football. All right, let's go over some other stuff that quickly happened today. Kaiir Elam had another strong practice, at least at the start. I think he is firmly now in position to win that Dane Jackson role as the first boundary cornerback off the bench. And really, Christian Benford and Rasul Douglas are so solid. But if Kaiir Elam keeps this up, you could even make the argument that the Bills might try to put him in there several drives a game just to keep him warm, keep him warmed up and make him a part of this defense, because it really is exciting to see, at least for now, the corner he has turned. Since the pads have come on, we talked about how you can really start to evaluate the line of scrimmage. And the first day it was a Greg Rousseau day. The second day it was a Von Miller day. Today it was an Ed Oliver day. And that's good to see. Those are really the three big dogs on the defensive line, along with Daquan Jones. Von Miller obviously was a sight for sore eyes to see dominate. And then today was Ed Oliver, a lot of it in the running game. Outside of that, Ty Johnson and Chase Claypool continue to miss. It seems like Chase Claypool's chances are slipping away. Sal Capaccio did say on WGR, though, he thinks that the Bills are at least going to give him an extended look in preseason games if he can get back for that, because they are very intrigued by his skill set. Next up for the Bills is return of the red and blue scrimmage on Friday night. Not a whole lot from today's practice, really. The offense looked good. Keon Coleman made some plays. A big Khalil Shakir day in the passing game. We've seen really these guys kind of each have their own day. A lot of Shakir, a lot of Samuel. You saw Samuel in the backfield today doing some of that dot the I Debo Samuel stuff. I think Curtis Samuel is going to be a very nice, versatile weapon for the Bills. And I think Khalil Shakir is probably going to be the leading target of the wide receivers on this team, lead the team in targets. And then obviously Keon Coleman's going to be a big part of what they do as well. And then Dalton Kincaid continues to impress. No other injuries to really get into. Alec Anderson was back on the field, which is big. Important to note too. He has been doing the majority of the work at backup center and also taken over that David Edwards role of the jumbo tight end. So it sure looks like Alec Anderson is not only going to make this team, but have a very, very important depth role going forward for this season. That'll do it for me. Tomorrow night, the Bills are back in Orchard Park for the return of the red and blue scrimmage. That's always an exciting night. Josh Allen teased that maybe he might have some kind of special helmet in store for Bills fans. He never disappoints. He always knows how to pull at the heartstrings of Bills fans who are just begging for those red helmets or just some sort of alternative look to the jersey. And Josh Allen seems to always come through in these moments. But I am Josh McCarty. Please hit like and subscribe before you get out of here. We'd very much appreciate it. And I will talk to you next time on Bills Chat, Quick Chat.